Chapter 13. Freed from Desire. Tim and Holly reunited with their friends and fellow boy racers for a special organised car meet at the large car park outside McDonald's restaurant in Star City Retail Park, west of Birmingham. The gathering had been arranged to celebrate the sixth triumph in bringing down Nigel Faraday, and across the community they were now being hailed as unlikely heroes. Once the friends regrouped, Robert had quietly returned everyone's confiscated phones, the ones he had recovered from Faraday's office, handing them back to Barry, Dane and Sajimon before finally giving Tim and Holly theirs. It was a small moment, but it meant everything. They were fully connected again, back in control of their own lives. Amid the celebrations, moments unfolded across the car park like a living montage. Sajimon carefully treated Holly's injuries from the crash using his first aid duffel bag, his calm expertise keeping everything under control. Tim stayed close, holding her hand, occasionally wincing as he soothed his throat with an orange calippo. Nearby, Barry had a kickabout with a group of kids and their parents, and joking about the madness of the day. When someone told him that Birmingham City Football Club had beaten Aston Villa, he celebrated like he'd scored the winner himself. Dane had his Toyota Celica GT boot opened, blasting Freed from Desire by Gala through his sound system. The pulsing anthem echoed across the car park as groups of racers bounced along to it, the energy infectious and unifying. Robert sat in his Nissan 300 ZX with a McDonald's Big Mac meal, listening closely to the news on his radio. Reports confirmed that Faraday, the Minders and the Rogues were all in custody, facing serious charges linked to from Speed 12. He called the others over, and together they listened as the reporter described them as unlikely heroes. A cheer erupted. The celebration shifted suddenly as a single blue Subaru rolled into the car park. Silence fell. Paul and Sophie stepped out, off duty, without backup, choosing to come alone. For a moment, tension hung thick in the air. Tim and the others exchanged glances, unsure if this was the moment it all came crashing down. Instead, Paul gave a small nod. "You did good," he said simply. Sophie stepped forward, offering a faint smile. They explained that, pending official approval, each of the six would receive $3 million from the recovered bonds in recognition of their role in bringing Faraday's operation down. They also confirmed what everyone suspected: Faraday was likely facing life imprisonment, with the Rogues and Minders looking at serious sentences of their own. Relief washed over the group. Then Paul glanced around at the gathered racers. "Go on," he said to Tim. "They're listening." Tim climbed onto the bonnet of the green beast. The crowd gathered instantly. Holly stood by closely. Barry, Dane, Sajimon and Robert formed a line beside the car. Tim looked out across the sea of faces, engines ticking, headlights glowing. "All right, everyone, gather round. You all know me, or at least some of you might. I'll keep this straight. These past few days, absolute madness. We raced, we bled, and we stood toe to toe with a dangerous, pathetic nobody who thought he could own us, break us, use us. But tonight, that's finished. He's where he belongs, behind bars. And not just him, his little associates and those rows who tried to ram us off the road just to win, they all locked up with him. But look at us now, not just drivers, not just dreamers. We're a community. This here is the Green Beast. She's been my steady companion through every high and low, with the power of the Hulk, the heart of Shrek, and the coolness of the Ninja Turtles. But the truth is, she didn't get me here. You lot did. Holly, Baz, Dane, Sajimon, Robert. Years ago, illness took away my shout at rallying. I thought my glory days were gone, but this race, Bromsby 12, gave me something better. It gave me you lot. And it gave us a story no one will ever forget. Because we proved something out there, greed, arrogance, selfishness, division, it never wins. Not out here. Not with us. We are the children of the night. The ones who find each other under the glow of headlights and the roar of engines, our pride, our cars, our bond. It's what makes us unstoppable. And tonight something changed. For the first time we stood with the police. Paul and Sophie, you stood with us when it mattered. That means something. That means change. So hear me now. No one splits us. No one shuts us down. No one gets in our way. This is our city, our time, our family. And we'll shout it so everyone knows. We are Boy Racers! The crowd erupted. Tim climbed down from the Green Beast as the cheering continued. Holly stepped forward, and their eyes met in the glow of headlights and streetlights. They shared a tender kiss. Quiet, emotional, and full of everything they had survived. Moments later, Barry, Dane, Sajimon and Robert rushed in, pulling them both into a tight group hug. Dane laughed loudly, shouting, "That's my boy, Timo! That's my boy!" Paul and Sophie joined the applause, but Paul noticed Sophie wiping away a tear. He gently pulled her into a hug, and in that moment they confessed their long-held feelings for each other, sharing a soft kiss that drew cheers from the crowd. After a final warning to stay out of trouble, Paul and Sophie returned to their Subaru and left for the police station. As Heaven by DJ Sammy began playing from Dane's sound system, the car park transformed into a celebration. Laughter, music and relief filled the air as the tension of the past days finally dissolved. As night fell, Tim and Holly spoke with their friends about their future. They revealed their decision to leave Birmingham for a new life in Los Angeles, California, promising to stay in touch. After emotional goodbyes, hugs were shared all around. They climbed into the Green Beast and set off into the night. Driving alone along the M6, they eventually pulled onto a quiet lay-by. As the engine cooled, the world around them was still. "You were unreal today," Holly said softly. "Despite everything you've been through, you didn't break. You were on fire." Tim smiled faintly. "Didn't feel like it." Holly took his hand. "You're the kindest, strongest person I've ever met." Tim's eyes softened as she leaned in, and they shared a deeper, quieter kiss. One that felt like a promise rather than a celebration. They spoke softly about their future in Los Angeles. No more chasing old rally dreams. No more looking back. Just forward. Together. Tim reached onto the dashboard and picked up the Pingu mascot. "You're coming with us, little mate," he said quietly. "Next adventure." He passed it to Holly. She held it close, smiling. He's a proper rehab legend, just like you. She placed Pingu back on the dashboard, facing forward. As they prepared to leave, headlights appeared behind them. Barry, Dane, Sajimon and Robert had followed. Not to stop them, but to say goodbye properly. A final convoy formed, and together they drove along the M6 for one last shared journey. After a few miles, one by one, they peeled off at junctions, waving as they went, until only the Green Beast remained. A remixed version of The Carnival Is Over by the Seekers played softly over the radio as Tim and Holly continued alone into the night. Ahead, California, behind everything they had survived. On a motorway bridge, far above, a woman with a brunette bob cut watched them pass. A British racing green Ford Sierra RS Cosworth sat beside her. Her phone rang. She answered. Her name, faintly spoken, was Jenny, Tim's estranged sister. And then she drove off into the night.